What you are currently hearing in the background is the leaked instrumental mix of the hit 1985 song Take On Me. Now, you may ask, isn't this video about lost media? And my answer to your question would be, yeah, it is. So why I am playing the leaked instrumental mix of a 1985 song in the background is because this is a great way to explain what lost media is. When Aha made this song, they did a ton of retakes and iterations, and they made so many mixes of this song that nobody has ever heard besides the band itself or producers, that all those takes are considered lost media. How fun. Lost media can come in many forms, from music, lost television show pilots, video games, animations, and many other examples that I could spend hours telling you about. While some lost media is fun and interesting, I do unfortunately have to inform you that today we will be looking at more disturbing and unsettling cases of lost media. Oh, actually, I completely forgot. I have a little disclaimer thing for you. So, yeah, here's that. In 1928, Warner Brothers produced a movie by the name of Noah's Ark. This movie was based on the story of Noah's Ark, hence the namesake. The movie was originally a silent film, but talking rules were added later on, with the film running at 195 minutes on its original release and 135 minutes after the final release. The cost to produce this film, I think, in 1928 was $1 million, and worldwide it grossed over $2.3 million. If you were to translate that money to today's money, that would be the same as spending $17 million on movie production and then getting back $40 million. The original cut, the one that ran for 195 minutes, was removed from theaters early into the release of the movie and is considered to be lost media due to what is believed to be the fact that any trace of the negatives from the 195-minute cut of the movie, along with any studio archives or copies, have not been found. Noah's Ark featured around 7,500 extras, and the reason they needed that many was because of this one scene. Warner used over 600,000 gallons of water, and in liters, that is 2.3 million liters of water for this one scene. This amount of water was so overwhelming that it drowned 3 extras, caused one extra to need his leg amputated, and seriously injured many others. There's said to be an extended cut of the flood scene that shows the 3 extras drowning, but either I did not look hard enough or it just doesn't exist. In 1954, a reverend by the name of Jim Jones established the People's Temple in Indianapolis. The people of People's Temple believed in equality, and they wanted to be in a society where they could flourish, so, in turn, the People's Temple gained a following due to its communist and socialist ideologies, and soon after gaining enough money through payments from the members, in the 1960s, the People's Temple relocated to San Francisco, where the quickly developing cult gained more traction and popularity due to the civil rights and war conflicts occurring in the United States. In San Francisco, the cult would continue to grow basically exponentially. Unfortunately, after another decade and investigations into the cult, the leader Jim Jones began to feel increasingly paranoid and decided to move his over 900 followers into Guyana, a country in South America. A few years later, and after many requests from ex-temple members, Congressman Leo Ryan led a mission into the Guyanese jungle where Jim Jones and his followers, who were still technically American citizens, had set up. To figure out the facts for himself and document the mission, Ryan brought along an NBC camera crew. This is where the footage that you have been seeing came from. While there's around an hour of archive footage and likely many more hours worth of footage kept somewhere by NBC, some of the footage is ultimately lost media due to the unfortunate fact that there was a shooting on the airfield in Port Kaituma whenever the camera crew and others tried to leave. This shooting resulted in the deaths of Congressman Leo Ryan, cameraman Bob Brown, NBC reporter Don Harris, a temple defector named Patricia Parks, and a photographer of the name Greg Robinson. This footage here shows what seems to be the moment that the shooting began. It is currently up on YouTube as well. This footage is incredibly horrifying, as you can see one man shoot at the airplane while others exit the truck next to him. Weird people and places have always existed on the internet, and that is no exception for this online forum that existed in 2001, the Cannibal Cafe. This forum was home to many people who were exhibiting cannibalistic fetishes and fantasies, whether it be to be eaten or to eat someone else. Still, the website explicitly stated that anybody who actually had the desire to eat somebody or was having trouble distinguishing reality from fantasy should not be on the website. Unfortunately, I do not think that Armin Meiwes and many other people could read. Armin Meiwes, whose alias on the website was Frankie, aged 39 at the time he committed this atrocity, posted on the forum that he was, quote, searching for a young boy between 18 and 25 years old to, quote, butcher them and eat their horny flesh. After some trouble, Meiwes finally got a willing volunteer, an engineer by the name of Brend, who was thought to be around the same age as Meiwes. Brend had the cannibalistic fetish of being eaten by somebody, and after setting up a meeting with Meiwes, that is unfortunately exactly what happened. Brend arrived at Armin Meiwes' house in Wüstfeld, Germany on March 9th, 2001. After going inside and hopefully getting to know each other a little better, Brend asked Meiwes to bite his penis off, which Meiwes tried to do, but Brend's penis was too chewy, so he cut it off with a knife. And then after cutting it off with the knife, he sliced it up and tried to feed it to Brend, to which it was still too chewy, so Meiwes attempted to cook it and ended up burning it and then fed it to his dog. After this, Meiwes placed Brend's body into his bathtub for Brend to bleed out. After 3 hours, Meiwes would just go into the bathroom and slit Brend's throat anyways, ultimately killing him. After Armin Meiwes killed Brend, he set up a tape recorder in a room in his house where he hung Brend's body up and then cut him down the middle and then started basically just filleting his skin and flesh and other bits. This footage was later used to incriminate Armin Meiwes because obviously it shows him cutting up a man's body. Meiwes would not face any repercussions until almost 2 years later. During those 2 years, Meiwes had ate over 44 pounds worth of Brend's flesh. At least according to my research and the people over on Lost Media Wiki, this tape fortunately has not leaked onto the internet yet. Meiwes would be arrested in December of 2002, and during his trial and showing of the tape that he recorded, after that trial, many journalists needed therapy. The Virginia Tech shooting took place April 16, 2007, with 33 killed and 23 injured. This massacre has been the most amounts of deaths recorded during a school shooting, and it was the most amount of deaths recorded in America in a mass shooting until the Pulse nightclub and then later the Las Vegas shooting. There are 2 cases of lost media based around this horrific event, one pertaining a student and another the perpetrator. Seung-Hui, a South Korean student at Virginia Tech, aged 23 the time he committed the massacre, was very much a social outcast, having been diagnosed with MDD and a severe anxiety disorder. He was constantly bullied throughout high school and into college, and while at college, Chow did not get any better. Chow would write plays and make other pieces of art that extremely disturbed his peers and teachers, and this made them very worried about his behavior. The morning of April 16, 2007 was quickly violated because at 7:15 a.m., Chow murdered a 22-year-old senior resident assistant named Ryan Clark and a 19-year-old freshman named Emily Hilscher in their rooms at the West Ambler dormitory. In the time that Chow took between this first killing and then the shooting that he would later on enact, he mailed a package to NBC News using the post office that was just off the campus of the school. Inside of it were documents, videos, and photos. This manifesto had around half an hour of footage of himself, which NBC only showed 2 minutes of in a broadcast that followed after it was received. The entirety of the contents of this manifesto most likely are still in the hands of NBC and will probably not be released anytime soon, making it lost media, or at the very least unavailable to the public. Somewhere between 9:30 and 9:40 a.m., Chow entered the Norris Hall and locked the doors with chains, leaving a note that said if anyone tried to remove these chains, a bomb would go off. Minutes later, Chow began shooting into classrooms 206, 204, 207, and 211 along the second floor of Norris Hall. At 9:41 a.m., 911 received its first call from the event, originating from room 211, placed by the student Colin Goddard. The transcript of the call was broadcast onto a news station, but the actual audio has never been released, probably due to it being too graphic for public hearing. If you would like to read the entirety of the transcript, I will have it linked in the description, and you can check it out there. And with that, we do have the end of the video. I know it was short, but I tried my best to make it as accurate, educational, and entertaining as I could, given the subject matter. If there's anything that you heard in this video that was incorrect, or you think I might have misinterpreted it or misread it, please do let me know in the comments. If there's anything that you would like me to go over in a next video, let me know in the comments. I'll get to it. And with that, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like the video. I'll see you in the next one.